Hey guys, welcome to Faith, Trust, and Primary. My name is Rebecca and I'm going to be a first year bilingual kindergarten teacher. I'm going to go through a little bit of the process as to how I became a teacher, how I used the Texas Teachers Program, how I kind of went about doing this career switch and career change, and really what kind of led me to that, what made me choose Texas Teachers. So if you're interested in possibly making the career change to education, if you're considering the Texas Teachers Program, if you just kind of want a little bit more information about my journey and my story, go ahead and keep watching. So to begin, I really decided to make the career switch when I was furloughed by my company during this, whole situation with COVID and everything like that. I just really didn't feel like I was a good fit anymore for what I was doing, and if there was a one chance opportunity that I was going to switch to what I had been thinking about with education, this was the time. So I looked into the program. I looked at multiple programs in Texas, and I really found that Texas Teachers was the program that most people that I knew did. It was a program that was very highly accredited. It had a great response rate with me, and whenever I called and had questions, they answered very quickly for me at first. I'll go through that a little bit later, a little bit more into that later, but it was really a good option for me, and it was one of the most affordable as well. So as somebody going into the field of education, of course you don't go into the field of education for the money, you go in for the kids and for the opportunity to make a difference. But again, money is money. So I really looked at the cost of each program, what it was going to cost me in the long run. Was it a good option for me? So let me start out with what is Texas Teachers and why I chose it. So Texas Teachers is an alternative certification program, ACP, and with that, it's a program for people who didn't study education in college and they wanted to go into the field of education, whether that may be, special education, whether that was high school, middle school, elementary school, they cover all of it. And they have designated programs for the specific level that you want. There's some specific kind of modules that are universal for every single person going to the program, but then it kind of specializes a little bit. And so that way you can really learn, reading for elementary students versus reading for middle school students and stuff like that. And it allows you to really specialize. And so that was really great. The big thing for me was that I personally asked a lot of my friends. They all chose Texas Teachers, every single one of them. There was a reason. And so I asked all of them. They said Texas Teachers is the best, and I looked into the specific rules and regulations that they were looking at. So with that, you have to have a bachelor's degree. You have to have had a bachelor's degree and had a GPA of 2.5 or above. I had that, so I wasn't really worried about that. Another thing is you just had to apply. So I went ahead, took the plunge, paid for it, applied, and I believe it was a $99 application fee, but I just went ahead and did it. I waited about 3 to 5 business days, and they called me and they went through the specific programs, what I had thought about teaching, what they thought might be good depending on my interests and my personality. And so we both decided on doing EC to 6, which is early childhood to 6th grade, and which is just core. So that means I could teach anything from like pre-K to 6th grade. And then specializing in bilingual education because I am fluent in Spanish. So bilingual education and then English second language certification. Those two things are really important because they kind of make me stand out. It makes it easier for you to get a job because those are things that you can do that maybe nobody else can do. So it does give you a little bit of a push to say, I'm certified to do this. I'm ready to do this. And it makes you stand out versus all the people that are coming in fresh out of college that also want to be elementary teachers or middle school teachers, whatever that may be. But they'll guide you through that. You send all of your college transcripts, and then it should be 3 to 5 business days for processing to tell you if you're in the program or not. Now, with everything going on right now, it took a couple weeks. I'm just gonna say, just they're low staffed, and with everything happening, they're all working remote. They did the best they could, and they got me in. So I started the program at the end of May, so like May 30th. Basically, I started the very beginning of June, and I finished the program at the end of June. So I did everything within the month. It was a lot. It was a lot. I did it like a full-time job. But it was great. It helped me. I did all the modules very clearly. I scheduled myself out. And I had 5 specific like chapters, and within the chapters there were multiple modules, and each one had videos. I took notes, and I had to do 30 hours of field-based observation. So that means watching a teacher, taking notes. Right now with everything going on, they're allowing you to do the full 30 hours virtually. So they have pre-recorded lessons and videos that you can watch, and it's hours long. So prepare yourself, because you are going to be watching 30 hours of videos. But I did that within 1 week, and it's hard. You grind it, but it's very, very doable. So you can absolutely do it. The average of completion for this particular program is on average 2 to 5 months. Now, you can do it completely at your own pace. So if you really want to really get your foot in slowly, become a paraprofessional at a school, and while you're doing that, take the year to do your certification. That way you can take it slow, really take your time on maybe the things that you didn't feel comfortable with, doing them over again. You have the time to be able to do it self-paced. But if you're like me and you really want to get it going and you want to start your career in August or whenever that may be, the next coming year, you can do it as quick as you want. And I hustled. I worked it 8 hours a day, but I did it within a month. So you can absolutely do it. Let's see. When it came to why I chose Texas Teachers above all else, is that it was really affordable. I followed up relatively quickly. It was self-paced. I did it at my own pace, and I could do it as quickly as possible, and the resources. So they had huge resources in terms of, a resume checking and workshop, different webinars to kind of not only show me that really I could make a lot more money at least, doing the bilingual route, what my job security was like. They kind of prep you for the interview. They do a full webinar on interview prep, and they have different, what's it called? Trying to thought, left the station. Whoops. What's it called? Little blogs and stuff like that, where different members can kind of talk to each other and have that support. I love that the most, I think, because once I joined that, it's a Facebook group that all people doing the program are in. Once somebody got a job or got an interview, they posted on there and they were like, hey, I got an interview, and everybody cheered them on. So it's really, really supportive. Everybody wants everybody else to succeed too. So that was really, really great. Was it easy? Was it hard? It was a lot of work. It was a lot of note taking. It was a lot of hours. I mean, I pulled a couple of all-nighters. And there were different exams, there's projects to do, but for the most part, and I'll walk you through a day of what I did too later on, but overall it was pretty simple because it was just self-explanatory things about education, things I already knew, but just more in depth. I think it really prepared me for my interview process and stuff like that. Do I think that I'm super ready and prepared to go into a classroom? I think a lot of it I'm going to learn on the job, just because that's what education is. They can't prepare you for the children. Every child that you get into your classroom is going to be different. Every year is going to be different. And part of that, and they even say in the program that you're going to be prepared to go into the classroom and begin your teaching, but you're going to learn as you go. And the best part, I think, about the program is once you get hired, you don't have to pay anything except the admin fee until you get hired. When you're hired and you start actually teaching, that is when you pay the actual part of the program. So the program is about a little over $4,000 for the year. So they take a portion of your paycheck directly from this school once you start teaching. So say you don't get a job for the full semester after you finish the program and you have to start teaching in the spring. That's when they start charging you. So it's kind of nice to not really feel pressured to pay these $4,000 until you are ready to start teaching and when you start teaching. So it's really, really great. But that first year after the program, you actually get a mentor, and that mentor will help you through your first year. They'll be kind of like a guide for you to get you through and really make you feel prepared and kind of be an ally for you. The other thing is that you are on an intern certificate, so that means that you are not a full teacher. You'll be a full teacher at the end of your first year when your principal references you and basically says, hey, she's great, she is ready to be her full teacher. You get paid a full salary of a teacher, but you're just an intern teacher. So make sure that you're open to feedback. You listen. You're going to get visited a lot more than the average teachers. You're going to really have somebody come in multiple times and listen to you teach, give you a bunch of feedback. Be ready for that. Because you are a teacher, you're gonna have your full class, but you don't have your full certificate yet. So be careful with that. I'm excited for that personally because I really am somebody who loves feedback. And again, I'm gonna learn so much in my first year that I know I'm gonna do things wrong. That's what education is. That's what teaching is. And everybody would probably say that their first couple of years were great and they did the best they could, but if they look 10 years back, they're like, man, where I am today is totally different. So make sure you're prepared for that. You're gonna have a really hard first year because you're learning, but they'll recognize that you're doing the best you can, and as long as you really do the best you can, then that's what matters. I think that's all I have for this particular video on Texas teachers. I'm gonna be doing a question and answer kind of video in the future about any questions that anybody has about alternative certification, Texas teachers in and of itself, kind of the daily ins and outs of what I did, the materials I used. There were certain materials that I really used that I loved, that kind of got me through. So I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But I would love to have your comments. Definitely comment any feedback that you have for me, anything that you suggest, anything that you want to know. I want this to be a channel that answers the questions that I maybe didn't have at the beginning of this. And I want to kind of walk people through my first year of being a bilingual kindergarten teacher and kind of, answer those questions for you, kind of guide you through and kind of so you can see what it's like from a real perspective. But I'm really, really excited for this first year. I think it'll be great. We'll see how it happens. I still don't know anything about, distance learning and whether we're going to go into the classroom or not. I don't know, but I welcome you to go on this journey with me. And I hope that I can answer any questions that you have. And whether you're considering to do this program or not, whether you do Texas teachers or a different certification program, education is worth it. And anybody can do this job as long as they have the passion, they have the drive, they have the energy for it. Anyone can do this job if they really, really put their mind to it and they have the right intentions. And definitely, message me with any questions. I would love to answer any questions and maybe do like a Q&A once a month just to make sure everybody kind of, has their questions answered. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm so excited to kind of start this journey with you and kind of see what this next year kind of holds. So thank you so much. Have a great day.